I'm Charles Fairbanks. I'm a photographer moving into video. Most of my work is documentary based, but I've been trying to work in, I try to work in other ideas and poetic concepts into the work. So I grew up in rural Nebraska, and my mom is an artist. She started drawing and painting when I was a child, and we would do things together. I loved to draw, and then gave it up when I was in junior high and wanted to not be like my mom. Didn't take any art, wasn't really doing any art until college. I went to school in California and took a sculpture class my second year, and it kind of blew my mind. And I was wrestling. I was on the wrestling team at the time, and I ended up quitting the wrestling team that year. But right when I was quitting the team, I was in my first photography class, and it seemed, in retrospect, it seems like the act of, as I was losing this thing that was really important to my person, how I interacted with the world sensually, which was wrestling, that picking up photography at that moment was really important to me, and a lot of the energy and just I think the fact of the way I interacted with my world sensually translated really well into photography. And so in the last few months, as I've been returning to wrestling and then working with video, which I think of as an extension of senses, really, an extension of our visual senses, our oral senses as well. I've been thinking about how I can try to embody the experience of wrestling through video in a lot of senses, both how I can work with my own perspective as I am wrestling and try to translate this into something accessible by a viewer, but also translating how other people embody wrestling, how, say, my father, who is also a wrestler, embodies wrestling and experiences it visually as he's watching me and wrestling sympathetically. And so I have a number of projects in the works that have to do with this sort of embodiment, and as I'm returning, for example, to Mexico next summer and returning to the ring as for my under my undisclosed wrestling identity, there I'll be also returning with a mask in my camera and producing sort of an ethnographic film having to do with embodiment, but also questioning identity and say my relationship to this other wrestling culture.